My name is Daniel Francis. It is my great pleasure to introduce and host this book launch of Krista Nicholas's book, Not Just a Book About Quotes. Now, as someone who's read the book, I can easily say that this book, if I had to describe it in three words, I think motivational, impact, um, and inspirational. I think it's one of those books that really inspires anybody at any level to work through their struggles, go above their past, and to grasp a future that they may not be in right now, but it just really gives you that fire inside to keep pushing forward. And I am just really pleased to be here to share in this experience, as I'm sure everyone else who's viewing is as well. So, just to introduce myself, as I said, my name is Daniel Francis. I am the CEO and owner of One Momentum Publishing. So Christian actually came to us with his manuscript and said, I want to make this into a book. And we would have walked him through the steps of editing, book cover design, formatting, putting his book onto Amazon, and we're even in the process of helping him get his book into stores. So I just want to, first of all, thank Kristen for allowing me to be here with him, to even be able to plug my company and to just guide everybody through this process. So once again, we are One Momentum Publishing, and it's honestly our great honor to be here with everyone just to share in this occasion. Because let me tell you, I was talking to Kristen before we started. Writing a book in and of itself is very tough.
Yeah.
But writing a book and then planning something like this together as one is one of the most difficult things that you'll ever do. Your head does get hot fast because you are worried about if the book is perfect. You're worried about how the event is going to go. You're organizing guests. It's a lot of moving parts and it's stressful.
Yeah.
But, reading a book like this, I can tell it's just one of those things that need to be out there. And even though your head hurt in the moment, it becomes worth it at the end. I'm sure he will realize this maybe some days after when he gets some sleep. But nevertheless, we are here and we are all excited to share Kristen in this moment. All right, so I want to put the spotlight on the man of the hour, Mr. Chris, Manuel Lafayette, Mr. Kristen Nicholas. And, I don't want to introduce him, so I just want to ask questions to get the ball rolling. So, Kristen, tell us about yourself and what is the purpose behind this book?
Well, as you said before, I laugh a lot. I love to smile, right? So that's who I am. And secondly, I love God. My name is CHRISTON Nicholas, and I believe deeply in growth, discipline, and purpose. And those are three things that I have built my life on. They have become foundational to me. I always try to develop myself, to grow, to become a better person. Discipline is what have taken me from one place to another. In fact, it's only because of discipline I am here today. And purpose, I maintain a sense of purpose. Purpose is what drives me. Purpose is what pushes me. Purpose is what gets me up every day and keeps me going. Right? That sense of purpose. What I have learned over the years is that as an individual, I need to keep trying. I need to keep going. My journey have been one shaped by challenges, struggle, and I would say life lessons also, and moments where I had to rebuild myself from the inside out. Right? And this is what helped shape me as a person. And throughout the years, I've learned that it's not that we lack potential, because that's what I thought about myself as a young man. I thought I had no potential or limited potential. I will watch some of the people around me, including my friends here, I would look at them and see them doing great things, see them achieving, and I would believe that I cannot do anything or I will not achieve anything. But I've come to learn throughout my journey, it's not that we lack potential, but we lack the right words in the right time, Daniel.
Powerful.
We lack the right reminders. And we lack the right push that will keep us going forward. And that's what my book does. That's what this book does. This book reminds people that, hey, you have purpose. You can achieve. There is something in you that you could give.
Yeah.
Right? You can stand up. You can be counted. That's what this book is about. And that's what I would say inspired this book. This book was inspired from that. Not just a book of quotes. It's honestly, it's really a reflection of my own transformation. The struggles that I faced, the doubts, and the fear that I experienced. And I experienced a lot of struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I experienced what we call real poverty. Grew up in a home single parent where my mom, we call her superwoman. You know, let me free up. We call her superwoman. So she worked tirelessly to help us. But it wasn't enough. So much that there were days, many times, that I would have to go out on her behalf and beg.
Yeah.
Beg for a basic thing like flour and rice just to survive. So I experienced struggle. I experienced the moments of doubt where I and fear, where I would think about my future. What will become of me? Will I achieve anything? Will poverty be my life? You understand? So I experienced the struggles, I experienced the doubts, I experienced the fear. But here is the wonderful thing. On this journey, I also gain wisdom. I gain a lot of wisdom. What is my purpose for this book? Or what is the purpose behind this book? That this book will inspire people to rise. It will bring peace. It will bring a sense of motivation. It will bring clarity. It would give people a push when life challenges feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
I wanted to create something to speak to the person who feels less than. To speak to the person who feel like they can't achieve. They want to achieve, but they don't know how to achieve. To speak to the person who need that extra encouragement and that extra push.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to create, and so that's why this book is here. My hope is that this book will inspire people to rise, people to heal, and people to press forward and become the best version of themselves. That's my hope, that's my desire, and I believe that's the purpose behind this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very powerful. You're speaking, and I'm just thinking to myself, somebody else could have shared your similar experiences and just given up
Yeah.
very easily. But you took those struggles, you took those obstacles,
Yeah.
and what you said was very important. You took them as lessons.
Yeah.
How do I grow from that,
Yeah.
as opposed to allowing it to break you? And I think it's very important in the world we live in today that people see examples of this and know that, okay, I may be experiencing something similar, and I'm going to use this as building blocks to move forward as opposed to just giving up. I hope persons who are hearing this know it's time, right? But we will talk about that later on. Don't worry. All right. So I want to ask another question. So tell us, what is your vision for Ton's book and Life Studio? Tell the audience about that.
Well, Ton's Book and Life Studio is really a company, right? The vision for Ton's Book and Life Studio is to become a place where people can receive inspiration, motivation, and a sense of purpose, and also practical tools to help them grow,
Right.
build, develop themselves. That's basically the vision for Tons Book and Life. And even as I share the vision for Tons Book and Life, next year we would like to embark on a project, and that project is to give out about 1,000, maybe more, free books to schools, to the library, to youth groups, homes, and to any young person or any person that really needs motivation, needs encouragement, you know. We would like to do this next year, maybe early next year. So if you would like to be part of this initiative, you would like to sponsor, you would like to give a gift to it, maybe you have an institution, an organization, a business, or you personally just want to be part of this project, please contact us through our information should be up on the screen. So yeah, that's the vision for Tons Book and Life Studio.
Love that, and I feel like it runs in parallel to the book. You know, it's not just about, okay, I put a book out there.
Yeah.
It's about, I want to impact people's lives. The book is one way, you're creating another way. And nobody's asking you or forcing you to go the extra mile, but you're making that decision for yourself. And I think that's very important and very powerful. And it's really showing that it's not just about what you've written. You're living that. And a lot of people can't say that they've done that. You know? I think we need to give the book a little bit more of a spotlight. I see you already pick up a copy, so you're ready for me. So, I mean, the audience is watching, they see in the cover, you know, they say not just a book about quotes. They're hearing some aspects about it, but the question really is, you know, how did this book come to life? Like, we want to know.
I love the story. You mightn't like it, but I love it, right? How did this book come to life? It began when I was about 18 years of age. At that age, I developed a passion for writing books. But even though I developed this passion, there was a limitation, and that was my academic status or ability. So even though I had that passion, I did not push forward or try to write a book,
Right.
because of my ability or inability, I should say. But what is significant and what is important is that passion never left me. It never left me. Over the years, that passion to write a book, it never left me at all. So much that I believe was my early 20s, I asked my friend, he's sitting right here, Quincy Richards. I asked him to write a book on my behalf. It didn't come to fruition. Right? And thank God it didn't, right? It didn't come to pass.
Or we wouldn't be here today.
16, by the way.
That's very important to know the age that you decided to ask your friend to write your book for you. 16 years old is what he said, huh? Right.
Yeah, so that passion never left. And secondly, I would receive what I would call inspirational quotes, or some would say messages, in different situations. Some of them, in my quiet time, I would receive a short quote in my mind. Some of them, while talking with a friend or talking to somebody, I would receive an inspirational quote or message. Some of them, through challenges, I will receive a quote. Some of them, through victory, I will receive a quote. And so what I realized is that these messages were not random. They were a gift. I didn't realize they were a gift before, but it came to me when in fact last year, 2024, I realized that these messages were gifts that I were receiving. And that gift, in 2024, that gift coupled with my story, my personal experience, from where I came from to who I am now, I am able to merge that. I realize I am able to merge these two things and deliver a message that could change lives.
Yeah.
deliver a message that could transform life, that could make a difference, that could help our nation, that could help our young people, that could go into the schools and change life. And so that's really the journey how this book came to life. And so in 2024, last year, November, I started writing this book. Stopped because life got a little busy.
Right.
But as soon as I got time again, went back writing, finished, and one momentum published my book. and so that's the story of how this book came to life.
For all those who have their book idea, they're waiting. I mean, it starts with you writing the book, you know. You don't have to go to a friend to say, hey, write the book for me. It really just comes for you to sit down and write it. But no, very, 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 very beautiful. I think sometimes, you know, I get a little religious with you. When God has a plan for you, no matter what you decide, whether you're not going to do it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
And let me just chip in there. A few years ago, I got 2 messages from 2 pastors. They said to me, and can I just speak, be real? They said to me, this Doncy bad boy who couldn't read, write, and spell, said, you will write books. And man, I listen to these people and I say, don't see bad boy, let's tell him about writing books. And then this year, I had already started writing the book. And this year, I went to do a crusade. I'm an evangelist, by the way. And the pastor called me up and he said, I see you writing a book that would change life, a book that would touch our young people in this nation at this time, that would go into the schools and etc., etc. And while he's saying that, I already know I'm writing the book. So yeah, God has a plan.
yeah.
And God bring it to pass. You just have to be disciplined, because God can give you a plan. For those of you who are listening, a lot of you all have visions and plans and ideas, but without discipline and without a sense of purpose, a plan stays right there.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I hope some of y'all listening out there. So even while we were preparing the book, I always remember getting the name of the book, and I just wondering, not just a book about like I trying to this name, not just a book of quotes. But you see, one of the best parts of having a publishing company is that you get to read a lot of books for free. Don't mind, I always buy a copy of the book from our authors, but I get the title, not just a book of quotes, and I start to read and I say, I see what he's doing there. But let me ask you, so this title, where did it come from? What is the impact? Why did you choose it?
I would share how the title came to me. I had a few titles written down on paper. I would change them. I'll use this one and I'll use that one. But none of those titles spoke to what the book really represents.
Right.
None of them. I had them for months. And I was uneasy using those titles. I believe one of them were books that inspire, books that make quotes that inspire, quotes that make it different, but none of them really represent what the book is about. And so one day, my friend Tahir Kwashi, sitting right here, he came down by me. We always chat, we always spend time. And he was pre-editing the book at that time. And so I said to him, I said, Tahir, I have some titles for this book, but none of them I feel comfortable with. I don't know what title to put on this book. And then he responded, and he said to me, he said, yeah, CHRISTON boy, because, paraphrasing, while I'm reading this book, I realized that this book is different. This book is not just a book of quotes. And he started speaking. And while he speaking, it's like a light bulb went off in my mind.
Yeah.
And I said, Tahir, stop. Repeat what you just said. And he said, this book is different. I said, yeah, continue. And it's not just a book of quotes. And I said, yes. That's the name of my book. Not just a book of quotes. And when I said it there, it's like immediately he picked it up too. He's like, yeah, that's the name.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And just to put this in there, inspiration comes in any form, from anybody, in any place. That's what I learned writing. One of the things I learned writing this book. I got inspiration from different scenarios, different situations, and different people, different occasions. And so from him speaking, responding to me, I got the name of this book, not just a book of quotes. So, Tahir, thank you very much.
Really had to thank your friends there, boy. One writing the book for you, one name in the book for you. I don't know what to say again.
Yeah, because the book is really more than quotes.
Yeah.
The quotes is like that's the spark,
Yeah.
the rest is the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's read it, you read through the pages, it's your experiences, yes, but you talk about all the different people that's touched your lives and how they affected you in such a positive way. And it becomes more than just you,
Yes.
more than just the quotes. It's about the human experience tied together, this amalgamation, and then it's just directed towards growth.
Yeah.
And it's really a beautiful thing. You know?
Thank you.
You don't often see a book being able to pull in different directions, but it all culminates into one.
Amen.
You know? And hey, when they say your friends is carrier far, I love that. Speaking of the friends, I feel like we have these two gentlemen here, and we really stick to really explain who they are. So let's put a little spotlight on them. Maybe Christian, you can kind of give a short introduction on who these two individuals are.
Yes, they are two of my closest friends. In my book, one of the things you would realize is that I don't associate myself with any and anybody.
Right.
I associate myself with people that share my values, people that will push me, people that will encourage me, like people who, to say it in Trini language, who nothing stupidness. And so these two guys, they are dear to me. They are friends. One of them is my friend from many years, Quincy Richards. Grew up, he came through similar situation like me, poverty, challenging life. So we grew up from childhood to now. The other, Tahir Kwashi, he became a friend more recently in my life, a few years ago. But I can tell you, this guy feel like he has been my friend from childhood as well.
Right.
They have stood with me. They have encouraged me. Even when we might disagree on something, these fellas are true friends. And I want to leave the rest up to them. But I want to thank God for them being here. Yeah.
Well, great to have you both here. I want
Absolute
to start
pleasure.
directing, a question to each of you, just to see, as persons who have been a part of Christian's life, you've also seen the book, read the book, kind of have an idea of it. Y'all can really give that testimonial of like what's in it, what's the content. So to hear for you first, as a friend of Christian from the beginning of the book, you talked about your edited aspects of it. You come up with the name. I mean, you basically know the book front. Yeah, I mean, you basically you write the book. Share your perspective on his journey. Of him writing this book. What did you see? What were the emotions? And what do you see as this impact that the book can bring to the world based on your insight of it?
No problem. Thanks, Danielle. So just to share a little bit insight about this book, when Christian would have shared the idea that he had way back, knowing his background, knowing his challenges, to see where he would have brought that and overcame that in spite of all that he would have been through. And we have this here. This book is, as he mentioned, it's inspirational. It's using his life as an example. It's not a bibliography. It's not
definitely
Christian's
not.
detailing from his all his ups and downs from birth till where he is now. But it's him using all these various situations and scenarios that he would have been through and showcasing to us, hey, that in spite of your background, in spite of people who would have written you off, in spite of family situations, in spite of come whatever may, you can still rise to the top. Now, just to share a little bit in terms of that rising to the top, Christian is what I would call a visionary. Christian, when he had an idea for his cover, cover that we see here.
Right, right.
Now, Christon designed this cover, right?
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Right? Christon had it in mind, and exactly what he had in mind, and exactly what he have in at least what we have in front of us here. I wouldn't doubt that down to the very steps of the ladder is exactly how much he had in mind as
I
well.
wish I could share the description that he sent us for the book cover. It was quite detailed. Quite detailed.
So it shows a person rising, and even stuff when you reach the top is not looking down at yourself or at others while you're there, but is waiting to help bring them up. And that is the inspiration that this book brings. And I've truly seen growth in Christon.
Yeah.
For him moving into this new era, I would say as an author, I've seen where he really inspires. Now, I read this book cover to cover. I read it when I'm hungry. I read it when I'm vexed. I read it when I'm busy, just to make sure that the vision, what he envisioned for this book, has come to life. And I must say, brother, I'm truly pleased. I'm truly proud of this book. I'm excited to go in the bookstore and send you a video. Hey, look your book here. You know, I've seen the growth that you would have really showcased, and I know that persons out here will be inspired. Persons will be blessed by what you have here.
Thank you. 100%. You're speaking, and I'm just thinking to myself, we're in such a social media culture where all we see is the perfect. And I think things like this is what we really need to see. The struggle, because it's realistic. All the success that you see people are showing, most of it is not real. And even when you have that real success, you know that the bumps and the bruises you went through just to get to that point were immense, but you don't see it.
Yes.
And I think this book really helps bring to light some of the struggles that we go through as humans that are just necessary steps, as the showing the ladder, that we take in our growth to become better. You don't become better by just accidentally stumbling into it. It's work. It takes work, and it takes effort, and it takes pain, and it takes suffering, but it's growth.
And can I share a little bit about the work? Now, there were times, days on end, you wouldn't see or hear from Christon. And then he would come and say, boy, I get some chapters down, you know? So I've really seen where he put in the grind. He worked hard. He sat over this book. He pondered, he meditated over it for weeks, months on end. And the victory at the end, it wasn't a shout. It wasn't, it was a quiet victory. Him realizing it's done, you know? Him bringing to life all of these quotes, these ideas, these inspirations that he would have had in his head. And the main goal is to help us.
Definitely. Because you keep saying that word, Christian, when you were speaking, discipline. And one of the things I find with authors who come when they want to get their work published is always like, I need to get it done now. Quick, hurry up, da. But what I got with you was, I have it, but you tell me. Like, I want to make sure everything is done properly. You see, when you come to me with that, I already know where your head is at. And it's in the right direction. Because when you want it quick, you're not thinking about it being as perfect as it can be. When you come saying, let's figure this out together in the time that it needs to get done, I already know you want a product that is really going to impact. Because impact takes discipline and persistence. You know, and this is definitely what we see here. Thank you to you.
Pleasure.
Quincy, let's have a chat.
Sure.
So he mentioned that you all have known each other for a very long time. You all have some similar upbringing. So I think you can speak to the man, Christon. You can speak to the individual. Who is he? What is he going through? But then how has he pulled that into the book to make it an impactful, read for the persons that are going to be picking it up?
So I'll be very honest. I didn't get a chance to read the book. But what I would reference though is the photo on the book. The image on this book is a perfect depiction of what he has been through, and where I believe God is taking him.
Right.
What I would reference as well though, there's something in this image that a lot of people wouldn't see, that I see, because I know him personally. And just to point it out is the circumstances, the enemy, and a lot of other things that would be holding this person's foot while they're trying to climb. Because CHRISTON, what he has been through, a lot of people have no idea.
Yeah.
And I don't get to speak about my relationship with CHRISTON much. I don't. Well, unless I go before the Lord, I don't get to speak to the struggles he has
Right.
been through. When you see everyone is on the up, and you're the only one who is just not getting a break, So while I didn't get to read the book yet, the image in front of this book, the details that a lot of people mightn't see is some of the things that I would reference as to, how he would have been able to pour into his inspiration into this book.
Yeah.
As he would have mentioned, his life wasn't easy. And I wouldn't want to repeat, I think we pressed for time, but I just want to say as well, looking on from my perspective, it's been tough as well, because I love this brother. I love him as a brother. I respect him as a minister, and I always want all my friends to win.
Yeah.
I always would like to see, everyone that is in my circle making it together. And, the struggle that would have been so consistent with CHRISTON in particular, it was, tough for me as well. Not taken away from, what he would have endured. But, yeah. I'm sure I've answered the question.
I mean,
but,
I think it does.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about a book that's speaking to his experience, and as somebody who was there, seeing him experiencing certain things with him,
Mm-hmm.
you have a unique perspective that can really speak to the emotion that's in this book. Because now you have me looking at this cover kind of different way, and I'm saying, I've seen this cover hundreds of times, and now I'm seeing it from a different lens. And it's the little details that you really you didn't pick up on until you started speaking. And I think it just speaks to the depth of what the book is really going to go into. And I think it's important that for the audience that's viewing, it's not just a book of quotes. Hey. So I just want to urge you, as I've been saying, doing something that is very difficult. It takes bravery to say, I want to write a book, I want to produce a book, especially about your life. You mentioned how difficult. Everyone has kind of mentioned in different ways how difficult his life has been. I've met many persons who are uncomfortable sharing in that way. Go ahead.
So just to share something about Quincy, because the book is also a reflection of his life, because he too will have gone through his challenges, but now he has risen and is rising. And I believe that we must continue to grow, perpetual growth. Right? This is somebody like me who went through challenges, but just for people to know, this is now the CEO and owner of Bamboo Marketplace.
Hashtag black accents. Just let me say it.
Hashtag black accent.
This is not I mean, he's intelligent, a brilliant guy, but he didn't sit down.
Yeah.
Right? And mention him also, not by name in the book.
Right.
So his life is also reflected in this book.
Yeah. Hats off to you, man.
Thanks, I
And
appreciate it.
we see the type of individual that CHRISTON surrounds
Yeah.
himself with.
Yeah, them fellas.
So you know the value that you're getting within the book. Wonderful to see it. I just want to take a moment to kind of acknowledge some of the sponsors, right? Because, of course, they would have helped make this event what it is. Everybody viewing, again, I just have to stress, doing this is not easy. Putting things together like this is not easy. So you have to remember, CHRISTON did his work. But we have to acknowledge those who are helping support him in this endeavor. So we have Ebisco Academy, an academy that provides tutoring services that adequately prepare students for CSEC, an institution that truly cares about growth and the health of people. Right? We also have Paskies, so owner of Trini Food Fantasy, located in Point Fortin. There you will experience the original Trini food and services. Yeah, South support in the house. Must love it. All right, so again, thank you to the sponsors for helping to make this a possibility. I know CHRISTON is very, very grateful. We're all grateful because, you know, these moving pieces help make the whole.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the book. Dive back in quickly, right? So I want to talk about quotes because we know the book starts with quotes, even though it's not just a book about quotes, right? So the quote, you'll never know your true strength until you've crossed the finish line. So tell us your personal story behind this quote.
This quote actually came from a 5K.
Pain and suffering.
Yeah.
No, I understand. Pain and
It
suffering.
was our Point 14 Borough Marathon 5K. I was preparing. In fact, I ran a 5K in January, and which was the first one I have run in. I run in about maybe 15 years. I was a runner, distance runner back then, and ran it well. I clock, I believe, was 24 minutes and something.
Not bad.
5K, and so I decided some months after to run another 5K, and so my desire was to beat my time by 1 minute, at least 1 minute, so run at least 23 minutes and something seconds, so I started preparing myself, running, maybe run about 3 times, and then the third time I got what athletes call athlete's knee. So this knee started acting up, terrible. And so I said to myself, I shouldn't run this 5K some days before. I pushed through and I decided, well, I'm going to run it still. However, I don't feel I'll be able to beat my time by 1 minute.
Right.
So I ran the 5K. Halfway through the 5K, I remember running and I felt like giving up. And I saw a road. While I'm running, I saw a road and I said to myself, if I take this road here, come off the track, I could go straight home. Nobody know I give up. Nobody don't have to know CHRISTON ran this 5K and CHRISTON went to and sleep. But while I'm looking at the road, I said to myself, CHRISTON, you have never given up. I have never given up, Daniel.
Yeah.
To the people who listening, I have never given up. I've fallen many times. I've failed many times. But one thing that I have never done is given up. And I said to myself, you would give up today? No, that's not you.
Yeah.
And so what I decided, had a guy who was running in front of me, I started to run he down. I ran him down. So he became the person that was challenging me. And I finished the race, crossed the finish line. And when I got my time, I can't remember exactly what the time was. I beat my time by 2 minutes and some seconds. Not 1 minute. I wanted to beat my time by 1 minute. I end up beating my time by 2 minutes and some seconds, despite the knee problem.
Yeah.
Despite the doubts that I can make this. Despite the voice that say, give up, boy. Take this back road and go home. I kept running. And that's where this quote came from. And so what the quote means is just never give up. It's only when I crossed the finish line, I realized how fast I could have run that 5K. And some of us, we don't really know our true strength because we give up.
Yeah.
We never finish.
Yeah.
We start off hot and sweaty. We start off, all the energy. But we give up because a little challenge come, because a voice, because somebody tell you you can't do it. And we never finish. And if you never finish, you will never know how strong you are. You would know how weak you are. But when you finish, when you pass the finish line, only then you could realize, hey, I am so strong. I could do this. I could make it. I made it. And so that's what that quote means. Only when you pass the finish line can you really know your true strength or how strong you are.
You'll never know your true strength until you've crossed the finish line. I've never seen bad mind directed in such a positive way in my life. But sometimes it's you're the enemy of yourself,
Yes.
and you have to find ways to push past that barrier. So I love to see it. And one of the things I really love about the book is the practicality at the end of each chapter. You know, there are 4 questions that prompt you after the reading to really kind of help make it not just motivation, not just theory, but hey, there's a practical guide. What do you do next? So, what was your thinking when you added these questions at the end of each section?
You see, my desire for this book is to bring transformation. It's to change life. It's to challenge people to change the way they think,
Right.
the way they see things, the way they behave. That's my desire for this book. And so if somebody reads this book and do apply this information,
Yeah.
it does nothing. So the questions, every question is designed to get people, the reader, I should say, reflecting on what they have just read.
Yeah.
That's what these questions are for. And not only to get them reflecting on what they have just read, but also to take internal actions that would change their life.
Yeah.
I'm not too much a brain guy or a scientist, you know, like others, but I believe it is said that it takes a person about 3 months to change a behavior. Right? So it takes them about 3 months to change a behavior. And so how do they change a behavior? They receive information, stimuli, they apply that information to their life, they act upon that information consistently over and over and over for a period of time, and that information now builds a new way of thinking, which is reflected in how they behave. Right? And so that's what these 4 questions are there for, so that people reflect on what they have read and apply this information to their life, which I believe would bring change and transformation. Yeah.
That just tells me that you had a lot of proactive thinking while writing the book.
Yeah.
Because something I encourage first-time writers to do every time I tell them, hey, when you sit down to write, think about what is the purpose of writing this book. And you highlighted, I want to impact people, I want to motivate people, yeah. But I want them to make a change. You told yourself that while writing, and this is the byproduct of it. Having these questions so persons take it a bit further. And it's not just, I'm motivated in this moment.
Yeah.
But now it's, I'm motivated in this moment, and I'm going to take these steps that can have an active change in my life.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen by accident. This is why I want to tell persons, if you're watching this and you're waiting for inspiration, you have to be the one to make the change.
Yeah.
CHRISTON has been doing it.
Yeah.
He's showing you the way to do it,
Yeah, man.
but you have to do it yourself, right? So I just want to commend you on because I'm thinking about it while you were speaking. So the next thing is I really wanted to talk about your favorite quote in the book and why, but I kind of want to jump into my favorite quote in the book first. You know, I tell you, I've been reading. No, I think I'm on like 15 or 18, but when I was reading, I saw this quote. I think it was in 5, and it spoke to me because I felt like it really spoke about your experience and what you've done and what you're trying to get out of persons, right? So it's a simple line. You are not the sum of your suffering. You are the product of your persistence. And I don't know, I just read that, and the first thing that came to my mind is CHRISTON. You know, and I just wanted to just like, oh, that's my favorite line. I know it's not the same as him, but just want to let you all know the magic that is in this book. It's not just joke, right? But tell us, CHRISTON, what was your favorite quote within the book and why?
My favorite quote within this book is actually the first quote in the book. And I want to read it. Right? It says, you can dwell on your disadvantages or work to create your own advantages. Which is very similar to your favorite quote. Right? So you could dwell on your disadvantages or you could work to create your own advantages. Now, this is my favorite quote. And the reason why this is my favorite quote is because this actually speaks about my life. Right? This quote is, without this quote, the rest of this book will not be possible.
Right.
Because my life, and I share a little of it with you guys before, my life was shaped by poverty. My life was shaped fatherless. Father wasn't around. Addiction, illiteracy, and the list goes on. Those are the things that had shaped my life as a young man. And so I could have remained in the place where I just complain
Yeah.
about my father, about my situation, or complain about the government. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you can't disagree with things that those in position do.
Right.
But we have too many people complaining about everything, complaining about mommy, about the situation, about the father, instead of being proactive, instead of making decisions, doing things that could elevate themselves,
Exactly.
that could elevate their life. And that's what I did as a person. I choose not to complain. I chose to take responsibility for my life. I choose to become a person accountable to myself. And I took actions. I made decisions. I saved. I built myself. I went back and educate myself while I was hustling as a young man. And so because of that, I was able to position myself for a better life. That's how you get a better life. You don't complain and get a better life. You don't blame and murmur and get a better life. You do things that will position you to be a better person and to build a better future for yourself. And so that's why that is my favorite quote. I don't believe in complaining while doing nothing.
Yeah.
I believe in taking action
Definitely.
for yourself, taking accountability and responsibility for your life. There's a certain time in your life as a person that you just have to get up, do to make things better or to advance yourself. So that's why this is my favorite quote.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're saying the word responsibility and it's just ringing in my head. You become responsible for yourself, and if you don't take that responsibility to educate yourself, work hard, make the change in your life, nothing is gonna make that change for you.
No.
It's not just gonna happen
No.
at all, at all, at
You'll
all.
stay on the block complaining for the rest of
Yeah,
your life.
definitely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I want to take this time to just especially start by thanking the guests that were here. Thank you so much for being present. Quincy had to run, and that's fine. But, I can tell how much it means to Christian that you were able to be here, sharing the experience with him, just as the audience is doing right now, because you can see the sum of his experiences are not only his, but shared with his friends, and he's also put it within the book. And it's important that they be here because they help build this book. So thank you for being here. I think it has really elevated what you're trying to do here with this book. For anybody, and it should be every single person watching this right now, who would like to get a copy of the book, I hope, let me just start that over. To the audience, I'm speaking directly to you. For every person, which is every person that is watching this right now, who should want a copy of this book, I'm going to share the details of how you can get a copy of the book. So pay special attention. Right, so the book is now available at Bookberries in Point Fortin. There will be more stores to come because we're helping Kristen out with that, so you can keep up to date with what stores it ends up in. If you would like to reach out to him directly to get the book, you can WhatsApp at 371-0316. Again, if it is you would like to WhatsApp him directly to get a copy, the number is 371-0316. Right, you can also email Kristen at KristonNicholas@live.com. Again, that is KristonNicholas@live.com. He's also on social media, so Facebook, Instagram, Kristen Nicholas. I think Instagram is just Kristen. Right, so there are many different ways you can get the book from him. I will list them out again. There's a bookstore, Berries Point Fortin, and there's more to come. You can reach out to him on Facebook, on Instagram, Christon Nicholas. You know the name. You can WhatsApp him, 371-0316. to get a copy. One of the next most difficult thing that comes after you write the book, you put everything together, is getting the book into the hands of the readers. And as a prospective reader, what you can do is take a little bit of stress off of his plate by actively reaching out to him and saying, hey, Christon, you did a wonderful job with that book launch. I want to support you by getting a copy of your book. I promise you, you will make his day by sending that message. Because I've gotten that message a few times, and let me tell you, it made my day, my week, my month. Because this is everything to us. Christon poured his heart and soul into this book. This book is the sum total of his experiences as an individual, an experience with his friends, his family, his struggles, his growth. And he wants to share that with the world. So I think as somebody who cares about him and wants to support him, the least you can do is reach out and say, Christon, let me get that book. All right? Christon has also given me a little extra to promote One Momentum Publishing again. So again, it has been our pleasure to put this book together for him. As somebody who has written 3 books and have gone through this experience a few times, our main thing was I just want people to have information. I don't want, because when I wrote my first book, it was difficult. I had no help, and I don't want anybody to experience that to anybody. So for us, yes, we could publish a book. Yes, we could give you guidance, but it's more than that. You know, we have a community of authors, the Caribbean Author Village, so that even if your book isn't ready or you want to do your own thing, you could join our community. You can ask questions. You can have persons that help hold you accountable. I think Trinidad, sometimes we're a little too competitive with things, and I feel like we need to be able to share information and share experiences, and that's really what the group is about, and this is really what my company is about. Yes, I want to help publish books, but it's more about getting author from point A to point B as seamlessly as we can. So if it is that you want that kind of assistance, you can reach out to us. It's One Momentum Publishing or OM Publishing on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're basically everywhere. All right, and again, thank you so much for allowing us to be in this space and promote ourselves while promoting you as well. I think this has been the coolest experience for me, because it's one thing to publish somebody's book, but to publish it and then you get to join them in the book launch and host. I mean, this had to be in my top 3 experiences for the year, and this would not have been possible without Christon. Right? So I really appreciate you allowing me and my company to share in this experience with you.
Thank you.
Right? So I think it's only fitting that the man himself give us the close for the evening. And before he does, I just want to say again, thank you to everyone that is here viewing and supporting Christon. I think it means the world to him. Y'all could have been doing many other things, but you chose to be here. And I know he's going to talk about how much it means to him, but I just want to slip in one more time. Buy a copy of the book. Anyway, Christon, take us away.
So, let me just say thank you, Daniel, and thank you also to the company, One Momentum Publishing. They have been really helpful to me. I sent my book and the process was smooth, being really honest, actually. No complaints. And they were patient. When they published my book, I said to Daniel, tell them, I say thanks for the patience. Because some things that you understand right away, right? They're very patient, helpful, there with me. So I just want to say thank you to you and your team. Thank you to Zaria, who is off set, Quincy, Richards, Tahir, Koshi, Joy, Company. Thank you, Lan, Nick. And to the viewers, who are watching. There are many of you who are watching who have been influential in this journey. One of the quotes in my book, it speaks about the people who have helped me, not waiting for their input, but demanding it. And that's who I am. I would go to people for help. So I just want to say thank you to every single one of you who have imparted in some way, through your prayer, through your giving, through your encouragement. Thank you. Get a book. I don't want to say much. Get a book. It's written to help. I believe this is a book that our nation needs now, especially our young people. Because I have experienced a lot of things that these young people are experiencing. Apathy, doubt, fear, addiction, hopelessness, don't know what to do with their life. I've experienced it, but look at me now, making a difference, doing something of worth and of value. Get one for yourself and get one for somebody you know needs help. Right? So it's not all lost for our nation. Myself as an author, Daniel as an author, and many others out there as authors, we have something that could impact our nation and make a change. So God bless you and thank you for your time. My name is CHRISTON Nicholas. If you don't know, now you know. Get one of this, not just a book of quotes.